Welcome to the future, where the glass is half full and you'll need new glasses, where you'll be jumping from conclusions.
The past is annulled, and a new future is born.
Never before in history has so much meant so little to so many. AD on the radio.
So I'm sure you heard about it at this stage in the game, but there was another vehicle terrorist attack in the UK. This one, the reverse of ones we've heard about in the past. It was one where Muslims were targeted exiting a mosque after Ramadan prayers. One person was killed. 10 others were injured in the assault. And rightly so, it's being treated as a terrorist attack. This guy who did it, 48-year-old man, he was arrested right outside Finsbury Park Mosque, which used to be my old stomping ground in London. I was always in Finsbury Park. Crazy to think about something like that happening. But it happened a little after midnight after Ramadan prayers. And it was a direct attack on the Muslim community, according to the folks over at Fox News. Yeah. The man suspected of mowing down the crowd, exiting Ramadan prayers at a London mosque early Monday, was captured on video blowing a kiss at bystanders as he was hauled off to a hospital for a mental health evaluation. A leader of the Muslim Council of Britain called for extra security at mosques in light of the attack. The group's general secretary, Haran Khan, described the incident as a hate crime against Muslims. There is a hero in this situation. There really is. And it was an imam, Muslim leader there. This guy plowed into a crowd. Hate crime. Like we said, injured 10, killed at least 1. And this Muslim leader, a guy called Muhammad Mahmoud, stepped into what can only be described as a very dicey situation after this happened. He jumped in. And he appealed to witnesses who had just had an attack made on their lives, not to attack him back. He jumped out of the van and was screaming, "I want to kill all Muslims," and then, "Kill me, kill me." And Mahmoud, this Muslim leader, kept yelling at the crowd, "Don't hit him. Hand him over to the police. Don't hit him. Hand him over to the police. Pin him down." And he broke the mob mentality. Men joined him in protecting a suspect who had just made an attempt on their lives and killed someone right in front of them. Cops arrived, arrested the driver of the van. English cops were very complimentary about the restraint of the crowd. A witness said the van was driving toward us to try and basically hit us at speed, and everyone was shocked. People were screaming. There were people on the floor. The driver jumped out, and then he was pinned down to the floor, and people were punching him and beating him, which was reasonable because of what he's done. And then the imam of the mosque actually came out and said, "Don't hit him, don't hit him. Hand him over to the police, pin him down, don't hit him." Another witness said when the guy came out from his van, he wanted to escape, run away, and he was saying, "I want to kill Muslims. I want to kill Muslims." I hit him in the stomach, and then me and the other guys, we held him to the ground so he couldn't move. We stopped him until the police came. Another witness said, the leader of the mosque said, "You do not touch him." He was sitting and holding him like that. People kept holding him. All the police and helicopters came after a few minutes. Why is he a hero in this situation? Well, not only because he did the right thing, but because he did the right thing in a very public way and led by example. Look, any violence done in the name of any kind of religion or any violence in general, I'm not a fan of. And let's be perfectly clear about this. Right now, there are plenty of people who want to cause harm, fear, terror, death in the name of Islam. But it falls to the Muslim community almost more than anyone else to lead by this shining example and stand up against this kind of hate, this kind of ridiculousness, this kind of terror. And what they did was incredible. To succeed, it is necessary to accept the world as it is and rise above it. Michael Corda.
Real radio.
104.1.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio, on Twitter at ADSXE.
So, did you ever make a speech in high school? Did you ever get a chance to address the class? Did you have desires to finally, I'm up in front of all these folks, I'm going to say what the hell has been on my mind for the last 4 years of high school? Oh, I dreamed of it. Dreamed of it. I think there was there was this kid I saw once at a high school graduation who was asked to play an original song he wrote about a high school experience. And he played it. It was a good song. I remember this. I think it was my cousin's high school graduation, but he was brilliant in his idea of following up the original song that he wrote about his experience in high school with Paul Simon's Kodachrome. Do you know this song? The one that starts with the line, "When I think of all that crap I learned in high school," and immediately the mic was cut off, and immediately he became my personal hero. But a high school valedictorian started criticizing his teachers during his graduation speech, like the smartest kid in the school, and they cut off his mic. Listen to this.
Throughout my time at Wyoming area, I have pursued every leadership opportunity available to me. In addition to being a member of student council since I was a freshman, my classmates have also elected me class president the past 4 years, which has been my greatest honor, and I would like to thank you all for that one final time. It really means a lot. However, at our school, the title of class president could more accurately be class party planner, and student council's main obligation is to paint signs every week. Despite the outstanding people in our school, the lack of a real student government, combined with the authoritative attitude that a few teachers, administrators, and board members have, prevents students from truly developing as leaders. Hopefully, this will change.
Hopefully, for the sake of future students, more people in this school who do not do so already.
So then Jimmy Kimmel interviewed the valedictorian whose school cut him off and asked him to read the rest of his speech on the show. The guy's name is Peter Gutera. And just FYI, the sound quality and the glitches that you hear at the end are because he was interviewing via Skype. So it's good to know that, even in the big leagues, when you're Jimmy Kimmel, Funkhauser, you have these problems too occasionally. Check this out.
Well, I went off script, and it wasn't the speech I handed in because I knew they wouldn't let me say what I wanted to say.
All you really did was give the school like a 2-star Yelp review. You really didn't do anything bad. Did you get yelled at afterwards?
No, but you could tell they weren't too happy.
Were your parents proud, or are you grounded forever?
They were proud. They supported me.
Good. Well, since the school wouldn't let you finish your speech at the graduation ceremony, I thought it would be nice to let you finish it on television. So go ahead and say whatever it was. I will not cut you off, and then it can get to them, all right? Go ahead.
Hopefully, for the sake of future students, more people of power within our school who do not do so already will begin to prioritize education itself as well as the empowering of students. Because at the end of the day, it is not what we have done as Wyoming area students or athletes that will define our lives, but what we will go on to do as Wyoming area alumni. And I hope that every one of my classmates here today, as well as myself, will go on to do great things in this world and achieve true happiness and success. Thank you all for coming out to this great celebration today.
That's a good thing.
Not bad. I have high hopes. I have high hopes indeed. So speaking of high, 70 feet high in the air, our guest on the show today is essentially the Tony Hawk of the motorcycle world, Travis Pastrana, guy who's won more X Games gold medals than you can count, not only in motocross, as a rally racer. This guy is... Are you aware of what he does, Funkhauser? Have you come across?
I mean, sort of. I've been Googling him since I heard he was on the show, and it seems exciting.
Well, here's the thing. He does this incredible event
ever.
Called Nitro Circus, this tour that goes around the country and basically plays the same venues that Guns N' Roses does. It's an amazing, amazing show. If you are an action sports aficionado, if you follow skateboarding, snowboarding, freestyle, motocross, BMX, any of the above, it's unbelievable. If you have absolutely no idea what any of those disciplines involve, it's unbelievable. It's just a fantastic, entertaining night out. It's a fantastic family event. It's good for kids. It's good for parents. It's wildly inspiring, and it makes you laugh because they've got this 70-foot ramp, and they'll send anything down it, literally anything, like a penny farthing bicycle or a Barbie car, and they'll jump. They'll do these massive jumps on tricycles, and I think they put a couch on wheels and jumped that as well. And then, of course, there's people. It's true. There's a video on my Instagram page, but they've also got, people riding snowboards and skateboards and all of the above down that same ramp as well. There's an incredible moment where a guy, they talk about, and the guys that MC this thing do a fantastic job because, like I said, whether you know anything about action sports or not, they do a great job at setting up the story and the drama of the situation. And the show, Travis Pastrana's Nitro Circus, has a message, and that is when you get knocked down, you get right back up again and you do it all over. Go see this show. We're going to talk to Travis Pastrana about it in just a little bit.
Money making, skills on the mic, keep me paid every day, and for part of the battle, just bow down, better act if you know. Come on.
For more stimulation and less irritation, 9 out of 10 doctors choose KPRC AM 950, Houston's more stimulating talk radio.
Don't get the blues, get all the news. We mean all of you guys out there in Radioland. All aboard!
He's back. AD on the radio.
Give it up, yeah, give it up, yeah. Bring this on, come on.
So our guest on the show today is freestyle motocross legend and mastermind behind the extravaganza of action sports known as Nitro Circus. It's a really, really incredible night out. If you get a chance to see this, please take it. But I guess we're just kind of killing time until we talk to Travis Pastrana, right, Funkhauser?
Yeah, Do you know when he's going to get here? I mean, he's like rock star late already, like normal. Living up to the name.
Let's just go through the news until he does show up.
This is My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair and certainly not balanced. And now, super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhauser. Barry Funkhauser.
Oh!
Barry Funkhauser.
Me.
Barry Funkhauser.
Barry Funkhauser. I gotta call him. I wonder how he's doing. He's got a lot of TV going on right now. He's an executive producer.
You mean the voice of our show?
Yeah.
The legendary Shadow Stevens?
His daughter is Amber Stevens, and she stars on The Carmichael Show on NBC. Coming back for season 2. And I think he, created that.
Oh, no kidding. What?
The Carmichael Show.
He created it?
He's one of those
Shadow
executive producers.
No kidding. Good for him.
One of the 35 people with the time, probably.
That's incredible. Way to go. We've got, like, famous people.
We're going to have him on one of these days. We still have to have him on here live.
He's too big. We'll never get him on. Nah, that's not true. We've had...
I can just go over there with a backpack of gear, you know?
Yeah, totally. All right, Funkhauser. What's going on?
Bill Cosby's lawyer said if Cosby is tried again, he'll get an acquittal.
Right. He's famously declared a mistrial, and people are saying, hey, not so quick there, Slippery Bill. We're not done with you yet. You will go back to court. And Bill Cosby's lawyer said, if Cosby... Slippery Bill is my new favorite nickname for him. If Slippery Bill Cosby is tried again, he'll get an acquittal. That's what his lawyer said. And then right after that, he went all limp as Satan snatched his soul from his body and dragged it straight to hell. What else?
The guys in Hanson called Justin Bieber's music, quote, chlamydia of the ear.
Yeah, I saw that. Which is, look, believe me, I like a creative turn of phrase as much as the next guy. Chlamydia of the ear. I dig that. Of course, what they fail to mention is that when it comes to ear chlamydia, I'm pretty sure bop is patient zero. Like, pot, kettle, black, glass houses, rock throwing, all of the above. Like,
I don't know, dude. That song's my jam.
What, bop?
Mm-hmm.
Bop. I remember that when that came out, my friends would all say that to each other. Like, hey, I think that, Bill Clinton is a great president. Do you? Bop. That was the running gag at that time. It was highly entertaining.
Who's the hot girl in the band? Oh, never mind.
You know what's interesting about the guys in Hanson? None of them really went wrong. A buddy of mine produced an album for them a little while ago.
Yeah, man, they currently rock.
For them. Yeah, they're out there like selling out theaters on a regular basis, having a grand old time doing what they do, making their own records, not having to give a penny of it to some record label. None of them went crazy. None of them OD'd. None of them did anything hideously embarrassing. They all just kind of grew up and continued making music and had a blasty blast doing it. None of them decided to break away from the band and make that edgy record, try and come off like a gangster rapper or a satanic death metal individual. No, they're perfectly happy being Hanson. Know their role, cool with their role, and really, here's the thing. They're very accomplished musicians. Like, they can really sing and really play. Like, Hanson's legit. Did I just say that? I don't know. Doesn't make the song Bop any less of a blight on the landscape of music, but nevertheless, you can't hate on Hanson, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can do whatever you want to, but I have a hard time justifying any directed toward Hanson. I just think that them calling Justin Bieber's music chlamydia of the ear, I expect better from you, Hanson. Come on. All right. What else?
Megyn Kelly's interview with Alex Jones came last place in the ratings behind a rerun of let's see here, America's Funniest Home Videos.
You know what? Good. I'm glad. And I'll tell you why I'm glad. The whole Alex Jones thing, going to interview Megyn Kelly, it's just, this is what happened. Look, Alex Jones, I've been someone who's enjoyed Alex Jones over the years. I've never been a regular listener to his show. But it's kind of fun, fun little diversion. To me, it was a lot like listening to Art Bell or George Norrie, Coast to Coast AM, the sort of X-Files-y radio shows that have been so popular over the last 15, 20 years or however long they've been going. But there comes a point where all right, I'll be honest with you. It was a Sandy Hook thing. Saying that it was staged, there's people I know in New York that got calls on that day. And it's not okay. It's not okay. If you have cold, hard facts, evidence that you can present, if you can say with absolute certainty that this was in fact a setup, that this is absolutely grounded in reality. If you're not coming from a place of sensationalism, if you have, like I said, cold hard facts or any kind of evidence that suggests that it really was staged, well then, that's one thing. But the way in which it was presented was... it's not a fun diversion. It's not. It is denigrating the death of children. It is ruining the memories of those children. It is taking pain that their families had to live through and still live through every day and amplifying it years down the road in an act that it was selfish. It was a selfish ratings grab. Megyn Kelly had been at NBC for a little while now. It was a big deal. Megyn Kelly leaves Fox, heads over to NBC. Oh my God, what's going to happen next? No one's really paying attention. Kind of nobody cares. So Megyn Kelly's under all sorts of pressure to have something sensational happen on her show that it's really going to get people talking. That Alex Jones guy, he talks he talks up a blue streak, and some of the things he says is very controversial. I know, I'll have him come on my show, and that'll generate some controversy. That'll whip some of it up. And boy, did it ever. But for once, the lowest common denominator didn't work. There weren't big dividends in division. There weren't massive gains to be made out of this sort of abuse of the truth. And for that reason, I'm glad it didn't work out. Like I said, Alex Jones, this is a guy that I've enjoyed in the past as entertainment, as a diversion, not unlike watching an episode of The X-Files where you think, yeah, maybe. Or you watch those conspiracy documentaries on Netflix. For whatever reason, the lower quality, the worse the production values, the more compelling somehow it is. Where you watch it long enough, and part of you goes, maybe we didn't land on the moon. Maybe we did land on the moon and we used alien tech, which we got from the Nazis, that they got from the aliens. Yeah, that's maybe, possibly. This is ridiculous. Okay, it's time to go to sleep now. Alex Jones was that to me. And look, Alex Jones is a talented individual who knows how to spin a yarn, and Alex Jones is a talented individual that knows how to enthrall the masses. But when you are when you're doing something that is going to hurt the families of children, people that have hurt enough, people that have lost children, people that have buried children, and not only buried children, but buried them after a senseless and horrific event that no one will ever come back from, to stir up wounds in the way he did, in the uninformed manner that he did, as a ratings and attention grab for him and Megyn Kelly, I couldn't be happier that sort of move failed totally and wound up with that interview coming in last place in the ratings, right behind reruns of America's Funniest Home Videos. Maybe it would have done better if NBC had used the title America's Craziest Conspiracy Theorist. I don't know. I do know this, though. We should move on. What's next, Funkhauser?
So you want me to cancel the invitation?
To Alex Jones? Do we have one out?
I think he's outside the door waiting at all times.
Yeah.
For interviews.
Ready to come and pummel us. I can't do that. Can you do it?
He won't leave. He will not leave his studio. You got to get more grasp down here. He will not leave his studio. But if you have got an ISDN connection,
that's really not bad.
If I did have an accent, I could pull it off a little more. I just don't have the southern accent.
That's really wow. That's not bad.
I just have the
really,
right microphone over here. It's called the Alex Jones mic. Anybody can.
The Alex Jones. I think you do a really good job of sounding like Alex Jones during allergy season. You need that extra sort of.
You know who else suffers
really
during
good.
allergy season is those submarine guys that. I just need to work on his conspiracy theories. I need to have Snopes open when I'm talking.
Right. You got the voice. Now you got to nail the subject matter. Work on it. We'll
Kim Kardashian is an alien, and she's here from another.
There you.
They walk among us, people. They're here. They're everywhere. Charlie Sheen, he's one of them.
Oh wow, that's really good. I'm very impressed, Funk.
Thank you.
That's really good.
Another obscure voice I can do. The media's lying to you, and it's right here in your face. Kim Kardashian bought Pomeranian puppies for her daughter and her niece.
It's a nice change to hear about Kim Kardashian and puppies having nothing to do with her posting another topless selfie. Like, you would think that I would love the idea of a topless selfie. No, with Kim Kardashian, I was like, seen it. Mystery is gone. We've all, yeah.
I'd like to see those Pomeranian puppies, though.
Yeah, puppies are adorable. I've never seen... Pomeranians are one of those dogs that look perpetually like puppies. They look like stuffed animals, so I can't imagine how freaking adorable a Pomeranian puppy would be. But here's the thing. She bought them, and that's not cool. Adopt, don't shop. There are so many dogs that need homes. There's so many dogs that all they want to do is come home and love you. They are the single greatest gift that we have here on this earth. Look, if you're looking for proof of God, a dog is it. This thing that's been put here, all they want to do is love us, be our friend, and protect us. And there's so many that need a home. All they want to do is come home and love you. So adopt, don't shop.
You're longing for that shining sun. You walk these streets most every day. You're waiting to get washed away.
Now, more AD on the radio.
Oh, check it out. Action sports legend, freestyle motocross superstar, and all-around nice guy, and head honcho of the Nitro Circus, Travis Pastrana is here. Hey, get up on that microphone. Just give it a quick test, a 1, 2.
Cool. Yeah, check 1, 2, check. Hey, how's it going? Something like that. Smile, talk, laugh. Papa John's Pizza. Bob's your uncle.
Very good. It's great already. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are thrilled to be joined by none other than Travis Pastrana himself, head honcho of Nitro Circus, which is rolling through Qualcomm Stadium on Saturday. Thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
It's tough to say Travis Pastrana the blank because there's literally so much that you do. So let's start with all of the X Games gold medals: Supercross, motocross, freestyle motocross, rally racing. You jumped out of a plane without a parachute.
I mean, Johnny Utah did it. It's kind of pass or fail, right? How hard could it be?
Yeah, it's definitely pass or fail. We're going to talk all about Nitro Circus in just a little bit, but how does someone like you, freestyle motocross legend, rally racer, all of the above, how does that happen? At what point when you're growing up do you go, this is what I want to do with my life?
Well, for me, I mean, my dad and all my family work construction. He said, look, I'll support you in your motorcycles as far as you get up and, you get good grades and you go out and you run a mile before every day of school, starting in elementary school. And he goes, you're never going to make it as an athlete. So take every day that you get to get up and have that smile on your face and get to live and do what you love to do and go as far as you can with it. And my reality has never set in. So, yeah, as a kid, I just wanted to ride everything, jump everything. If it had a motor or I could, some kind of speed, I was all over it.
Yeah, I mean, lots of kids go, hey, let's build a ramp and then break something and never do anything ever again. How did it go from, hey, let's jump some stuff? And because what you do, like you've kind of invented a genre, or at least you're part of inventing a genre, like, something like Nitro Circus when you were a kid growing up, that didn't really exist.
No, as a kid, I mean, X Games started when I was... I was probably third or fourth grade and got to see, guys like, I mean, honestly, San Diego is the mecca, like you were saying, mecca of the universe for action sports. And you had Bob Burnquist, Tony Hawk, like all these guys, the Dave Miras, and all looked up to them. And then motorcycles, when I was 15 years old, got brought into the X Games. Yeah. And my life changed. I was like, yes.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, when did you know this was going to be your life, your career?
I always thought it wasn't going to be a career, but I was like, I loved it, and the wheels haven't fallen off the train yet, so I have to run it.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. The whole thing where you jumped out of a plane, no parachute, met somebody who did happen to have a parachute on the way down. That was convenient. And like you said, kind of a pass or fail thing. Why?
It's... Our job in action sports is to figure out something that blows people's minds. It's when everyone's jaws dropped, you've done a good job. And, most of the stuff, it's really difficult to do that. But I started skydiving and I'm like, you know what? It's not that hard to fly around. And we found some guys, like, I'm not great, but some of the guys around were so absolutely amazing. I mean, they could catch an anvil that got dropped off 10 seconds in front of them. As it turns out, it's illegal, though, so it was not a great idea to do. And but after a year, I got my license back, and it's all good.
It's amazing. We'll get into what people are going to see at Nitro Circus on Saturday at Qualcomm in just a little bit. But your wife's on the tour with you. Lindsay Adams Hawkins Pastrana.
Yeah, she's from right up the road.
Cardiff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You, 2 kids now?
Yeah, I have two little girls, and it's funny, everyone says, man, how could you travel around with your family? And I'm like, man, when we go home, they're so bored. Like, we travel with 40 of the most energetic, enthusiastic, athletes, if you want to call them that, but just guys that love riding skateboards and motorcycles and bicycles. And at 5 o'clock in the morning, there's someone up, and at 11 o'clock at night, there's somebody up. And when we travel with that many people, the planes feel like a private plane. The buses, it's like your own bus, like anything you travel. And when they're not on a plane with all of our friends, they just keep jumping from seat to seat. It's really not the best there.
I mean, given the fact that you do what you do, your wife does what she does. Wasn't she the first female skater to be on the mega ramp?
First female skater to do a mega ramp. First female skater to do a McTwist 540. So yeah, she's that's actually how we kind of met, was through Nitro. I was looking to get more girls in the show, and they're unicorns, man. They don't make a lot that like to do the huge jumps and that kind of stuff. And Lindsay, she came out and she jumped on the big wheels over the huge gap. I mean, I'm talking 70-foot roll in with jumping kids' toys basically over 50, 60-foot gaps. Yeah. And she jumps in the sidecar on this guy on a bicycle for the first time, and the guy bails off, and she lands upside down underneath the sidecar. And I was like, oh man,
that's for me.
Let me drive. I got it.
I finally met the one. So given the genetic material that make up your kids, is there any hope, or will they be doing parachute free jumps out of airplanes and all of the above that their parents do?
Both of our daughters, I mean, we have a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. They both ride 4-wheelers. Our oldest rides dirt bikes and BMX races and everything, which is, I guess, somewhat young for that kind of stuff. But it's what they grow up around. And I tried to give them a golf club. They didn't seem to like it so much yet. But, I figure if they're half as passionate as their mom, Lindsay, and myself, at whatever they do, then I think we've succeeded. So hopefully it's something safer. But at the end of the day, my job in Nitro now is safety. It's building these ramps to make it bigger and crazier, but also safer.
Right. Wow. So as we were talking about, it seems inconceivable that this is the first time Nitro Circus has ever made it to San Diego. I saw that. I was like, surely not. No. How's that even possible?
It is quite amazing. We wanted to make sure, honestly, we started the show over in Australia. We ran New Zealand. We went to Europe. And then we came to the U.S. U.S. it's a tough market. These guys, everyone's seen everything. And San Diego, you guys are some of the best in the world at skate, at BMX, at moto. Like, this is the Mecca. When we come here, we wanted to make sure that this show was going to kick some butt. And,
right.
I think we finally have that. Right. So,
were you really holding off on San Diego? Like, all right, if we're going to do our show in this town, kind of like the epicenter of so many of these disciplines, we have to come correct.
Yeah, it's like, most like rock bands or something. Like, we did Madison Square Garden and the O2 Arena in London. And yeah, but it's in a city that they're going to be wowed by, not to be that person, but they don't see this stuff all the time.
Sure.
They're like, oh, dude, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But you come to San Diego.
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody surf, skate, snow. Especially the boards, but even on the stars, moto in the industry is just here, man. So we've got two bangers at the very end that we've never had in the show. And in Nitro, there's something new that happens every show.
Right.
So the fact that it's kind of scary, but at the end of the day, and everyone's on their game because we got world championships next week. So everybody they're using this as their last practice session before, going to contest. And it's going to be one heck of a show.
More with Travis coming up next.
Leave the stimulation to the professionals.
Everyone is so smart.
KBRC, more stimulating talk radio.
There's something happening here, and you should know what it is. The dumbing up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
So if you are just joining us, we have been joined by freestyle motocross legend, multiple X Games gold medalist, and all-around nice guy, plus head honcho of Nitro Circus, Travis Pastrana. So if someone's never been, doesn't know what Nitro Circus is all about, what can they expect there?
Nitro Circus is first and foremost the best in the world of action sports, skate, moto, so even scooters. Now, I tell you, I was looking earlier. I was like, scooters. I would like to see that. The best athlete on our tour, and it pained me to say it for a couple years, but he's a scooter rider, and he dropped the scooter, and he went and won the world championship at Nitro Games last year in big air BMX.
Wow.
Triple front flips on bike. He just took all the scooter tricks and just made it work on BMX and kind of shut all of us up. And I tell you what, Nitro has always been about people that want to push the limits, and not necessarily about who's the coolest, but just who is the gnarliest.
Right.
And that's what you get. So, but beyond that, so many parents, and especially moms, are like, oh yeah, I got to go to Nitro Circus, and they leave. It's the camaraderie, and that you can see that every time, especially towards the end of the show, everyone's trying something they've never tried, and they're throwing stuff down, and just that camaraderie when someone lands something. We'll send everything down that ramp, from boogie boards to lawn chairs to you name it. And it's a show as well, so it'll be fun.
If like a mom does bring their kid to the show, and son or daughter goes, "Mom, I want to do that," besides the initial okay. Do schools exist where people can go? Because now, people like you have developed these as true disciplines. It went from look at this daredevil to this is a real legitimate sport with enormous athletes and very sort of structured competitions and all of the above in a lot of these different disciplines. But is there a place where someone can go to learn how to do a backflip on a motorcycle?
The best places to go, Camp Woodward. They have Camp Woodward West just north of here, and Woodward East in Pennsylvania, which is right by my house. And that's pretty awesome. At the end of the day, most of the guys learned flips on motorcycles, including myself, without foam pits. So now that we have airbags and this kind of stuff, can't let just anyone on, but if you're passionate about it, there's you can get there and figure out ways to get in. And Nitro Circus, that's one of the biggest things that we're doing. We have open qualifying for the Nitro World Games, which we hold once a year as an event. And we have all the airbags and all the safest stuff and the biggest ramps set up for 3 months before the qualifiers. So really anyone that that can basically get themselves out here to Paris, California, for those 3 months and have access to everything.
It's amazing. It's amazing. The other thing that doing a little digging around on you, knowing that you were coming in today. One thing I found out, you went to college at University of Maryland?
Yeah, University of Maryland. Well, what was interesting, so I was homeschooled, and I broke my back when I was 15. So I was in a wheelchair for a little bit and graduated high school at 15 because my mom was very strict on education, and she said I couldn't turn pro, which you could turn pro at 16 until I graduated.
Right.
So I was like, well, I can't wait till I'm 18, so I better get to work starting in the 5th grade.
Right.
But when I broke my back, I just ended up starting to enroll in a couple of Anne Arundel Community College and some online University of Maryland classes, just more so to start communications and minor in English.
Well, that was going to be my question. I was like, what did you, Travis Pastrana is clearly involved in other stuff. But if he goes to college, what's he studying? And so it was English and communications?
Yeah, what English turned into American Lit, which I wasn't good in. Communications was the only subject where you only had one math class to pass, so I could get through college algebra okay. Math, not my favorite subject.
That's so cool. And because the other thing is, look, besides the fact that you are the gold standard of all the things that you do, action sports related, rally racing, all the above, you also have this brainchild, this massive, just the idea of pulling off a tour of this stature and then having competition events and qualifiers and all it's mind-boggling. And so that's what I was just like, I wonder if he went to college for business or what the hell.
That would have been smart. For sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's another thing I wanted to touch on. It's a huge honor to have you in the studio and to meet you because you've accomplished so much. But the fact that you can be this kind of athlete in so many different disciplines and then run a successful tour. Well, how the hell do you do that?
My dad always said, he goes, look, if you're doing it right, you're the dumbest person at the table. So
explain, what do you mean?
As silly as that sounds, you find passionate people that are really good at what they do, and you surround yourself with good people. Like for Nitro, I was very fortunate that a lot of my good friends were really awesome athletes, hard workers, and just wanted to be able to travel the world. So when we started doing this and we started figuring out how it was working, we started putting people we got lawyers and we got people that also were passionate about action sports, that loved what we were doing, that wanted to maybe travel or maybe wanted to stay home, but wanted to be a part of it. And now when I sit down in the board meetings and in the table, my job is creative. My job is ramps. My job is riders. I'm trying to get those guys to do the biggest stuff possible, the safest possible. And I don't have to worry about the numbers. I don't have to worry about, any of the math.
With all that stuff going on, I mean, you don't have to worry about numbers. You don't have to worry about math. But you're focused on safety. You're focused on growing the show. You're focused on progressing the sport. When you get out to ride, how do you have to be completely focused on what you're doing in that moment. You can't be like, I wonder what the take at concessions is tonight. How do you clear all that out and then just focus on the whole not dying thing while you're doing what you do?
It's really easy because I love riding, and everyone says, man, with 2 kids now and a wife and why? And I say, because every time I get hurt, it's not the broken bone or the pain that I'm bummed out about. It's the fact that I can't ride. So why would I stop riding to avoid the broken bones and stuff? And that's, at the end of the day, I push myself riding further than I should. And as I get older, it takes a little longer to heal. And you'll see at this show, there's younger guys doing much bigger and more awesome stuff. But I love to be out there.
You love it. Yeah, you have to do it. So do you think you were it's interesting because Dave Grohl's mom wrote a book about what it was like to raise a rock star. And in that book, she has interviews that she did with other rock stars' moms, and the whole thing was at what stage did there was no turning back in this? So would you say it was around 13 or so that it became a must, where you, this thing you talk about, you love to ride, you have to, you're bummed out when you can't. Did that hit around 13?
Yeah, probably a little earlier for me. So in the 6th grade, I finally convinced, from the 2nd grade to the 6th grade, or 5th grade, I was like, I want to go homeschooled. I want to go race. And I lived, starting from the 6th grade, I lived in my winters, because it's from Maryland where it's cold, in a trailer park in Florida, so I could ride the Winter Series, which was the best competition for motorcycles. Yeah. And my dad worked construction all week and would fly down on the weekends. My mom worked weekends as a flight attendant. So there was always someone that could kind of watch over me, and they made huge sacrifice for that. But they said, look, you just, as long as you're trying and it's a good experience. But my dad did not want to take me out of school. Right. He's like, look, you're not going to go live in Florida. This is not going to work. And then, we started, won the national championships when I was 8 years old, and he's like, all right, like it might go somewhere. But I think when I was 14, I dislocated basically both SI joints, which was the third known case in medical history. So basically my spinal...
Wow, so you're not just groundbreaking in terms of how you ride in the stunts that you do and jumping out of airplanes. You also have groundbreaking injuries. Hey, I'm the first to do this.
Yeah, I should have bled out, basically. But,
that's amazing.
So my spine basically went 3 centimeters down through my hip and pelvis, and my pelvis just shattered. My mom was just... I woke up... Actually, I hurt myself in Arizona, and I woke up in California 2 weeks later. After 6 blood transfusions and all this other stuff, and
crazy.
My mom was like, "Are you sure?" Just bawling. You don't have to keep riding. I can't see you do this. And my first thing was, well, is that jump still going to be there? Can I try it again?
Right.
And she just looked and she had to laugh, going, well, I guess we're in for it then.
Yeah. No, I mean, it just, because it sounds like a similar sort of age and a similar to what like Dave Grohl's mom said. It was around this age that she and other parents of other rock stars realized this will not be, traditional graduate high school, go to college, get a job kid that I've got on my hands. I better figure out how we're going to deal with it. And it's amazing that the same thing happened for you. It's an incredible honor. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but
thank you for your time, man.
Oh man, this has been a really big deal having you come in. Nitro Circus tomorrow. Anything else people need to know about this?
Nitro Circus, man, I tell you, we've got so many new contraptions, so much stuff. We've been touring the world this is our 10th year, and this is the first time we're bringing it to San Diego because it truly is. It's a show that, man, the guys, how far they push. Like I was racing cars earlier this year and took a few months off, and I came back last weekend to my first show on the U.S. tour, and I'm blown away. So if you love action sports, you'll love it. If you don't love action sports, it's still like, it's exciting. It's something you got to see to believe, kind of thing.
No, I always say this about Nitro Circus. Like, if you know action sports, then you know this is an insane event and this is an incredible thing. If you know nothing about action sports, same deal. You'll understand it the moment you see it. Tremendously entertaining, just ridiculous, edge of your seat stuff the entirety of the time.
No, I appreciate it. I think anyone goes, and we got, for the first time ever, we're trying to snowmobile front flip in the show. So supposed to kind of save that maybe, but I'm excited.
Well, the anticipation is there. Like snow, okay. I'm just trying to...
There's no snow in San Diego.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Like, there's so many about that, about what you just said, that I can't wait to see it. It's awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Travis.
Thanks for your time.